Hey you all, I'm so hi to fellow dressmakers. You're welcome to another interesting tutorial. I am Confidence. In this video, I'll be showing you how I use the picture in the middle as a reference style to make what you can see in the video on the left and on the right. Even though I didn't use the exact material as it is in the middle, but this came out so well. So if you're interested in learning how I came up with this from the cutting to the sewing and everything in between, kindly watch this video to the very end and let's get right into it. So I use this fabric for mine, and like I said, it's not the same thing with what you see on the thumbnail. I think they use London crepe or shiny crepe as most people know it. And for what you see on the thumbnail, it also comes with armhole princess darts and also a half length. But because this fabric stretches both ways, I won't be needing that. And because the length of this fabric aligns with my gown length, I won't also be needing a half length, okay? But I'll be showing you how to go about it to achieve that style. And if you're using a fabric that requires that, you'll be adding that and also half length. I don't know what you all call this fabric, but I call it painted lycra or coated lycra because the base, the white fabric you can see is like the base, and the silver thing is like a paint. It's like you just coated on the white fabric. This fabric comes in colors. I've been seeing it online lately, but I bought mine, I think late last year in Lagos, Nigeria. And if I had options the day I got this, I would have gone for gold. But yeah, I didn't plan to buy it. I just saw it and I bought it. And here I am using it 1 year later. So for this fabric, in case you come across it, it's the same measure you take to sew your very stretchy fabric is the same measure you take to work with this fabric. It's super lightweight and it's super stretchy. Okay, and thank God I did a patch test the day I got this fabric. It doesn't accept hot iron. Once you place a hot iron on it, it's going to like melt to the paint you see or the coating you see, like the color, and it will really mess that part of the fabric. So be guided. So I've folded the fabric and you're going to fold yours using your hip measurement divided by 4 plus extra 6 or 7 inches. I folded this now with my hip measurement divided by 4 plus extra inches, I think about 8 inches. Now we'll start taking the measurements, and the first thing I'll have to do is to make this part straight, cut off this excess you see around there, and then after that I'll go ahead and take the shoulder measurement divided by 2. Then I'll go down to my chest line and mark it. On this point again, I'll take the shoulder measurement divided by 2 and I'm using my ruler to connect it. The next thing I'll do now is to start from the shoulder line and go down to my half length. Then to make it easy for me, from my half length, I'm going to go down to my hip line and also to my knee line. So whatever your knee measurement is from the shoulder, you're going to come up 3 inches from that, or from your waist to your knee, you're going to come up 3 inches for that. But it should not be more than 10 inches if you have your accurate hip line. Do you get that? Okay. Now I'm going to take the bust measurement divided by 4 plus half inch on the chest line. Then I'll come to the waist and divide the waist measurement by 4 plus half inch allowance. This fabric is super stretchy, so if you want it like a glove on your body, you will even minus half inch and not add. So when you take your measurement, you minus half inch and not even add. Then I'll take the hip measurement by 4 plus the half inch, and whatever I have there, I'm going to minus 1.5 and do that on the knee. The knee is not supposed to be tight. Whatever you have on your hip measurement, you minus 1.5 and do that on the knee. Then I'm going to connect the measurement and curve the armhole this way. The next thing I'll be doing now is to come down here by 0.75, I think, as the shoulder slope. Yeah, 0.75, and I'm going to slope it, slant it this way, going to the center front. Now I'm going to come down here on the gown length. I'm going to take the hip measurement divided by 4. Then I will be adding extra 7 inches. It's supposed to be 6 inches, but the other 1 inch will be for sewing allowance. Then I'm going to connect it to the knee like this. If I follow your hand, I beg you. Now I'll come down here from the hem. I will be coming up like 1.5 and use that to blend in the sharp point so that it's not really too pointy. Then for the neckline, I'll be using 3.5 as the neck width for both front and back. So I'll be doing 3.5 here. Then what I'll be doing is just to notch it. I won't be cutting it out now because the front neckline, as you know, is asymmetric. So I'm going to cut every other part, then we'll come back to the neckline.
It's only been a few days. I set my eyes on you, babe. Is it love at first sight? Turn on the lights, see the mesh you made. 1, 2, in love.
Make sure you notch the neck width, yeah, so you don't get confused. Now I'm going to open this up. I'm just trying to notch the midpoint, which is not even necessary. Then from one side, where you like, depends on how you want the symmetric neckline to be. I want mine to be on this side, okay? So from this side, I'll be coming down. It's better to do this on the wrong side because the chalk was already peeling off the paint, the coating. So for on this side, I came down 7 inches, and then you see the slight curve I gave it. Then I'm going to connect from that neck depth to this side of the neck width. It's not confusing. You can decide to make this part straight and not curvy as you see me doing it here, but I just want it like that. At the end of the day, it doesn't even matter. Then I'll go ahead and cut it out, and this is what the neckline looks like. So now I'm going to fold my fabric again. Then I'll be placing this front part on it, just something like this, just to trace out the back. Then on the center back, I have about 1/2 inch zipper allowance, but every other thing I'll be cutting it out, following, like just trace out what I have on the front part, except the center back that I have 1/2 inch extra. I'll be showing you what to do with that zipper allowance.
On the floor, come pick me up, oh, and tell me you know for sure. What you want believe if you know believe. I'm not deceived, I'm not deceived. And my love go past the love you give.
Now I'll come to the waist, and you see I'm taking off that 1/2 inch on the waistline. Okay, go ahead and blend yours very well, and then I'll open up this part and then open it from this part down all the way to where I want the zipper to stop. But at the end of the day, I ended up stitching it from that part where I want the zipper to stop all the way below the knee line. And I ended that like the same way you end your dart, like you stitch your dart, was the way I ended the stitching. Okay, because after sewing and after fitting the dress, I noticed that there was so much gaping from the butt down. So I kind of gave it a slight shape. I don't know if I'm confusing you, but yeah. So now, after cutting out the back part, I used 3 inches as the neck depth for the back. And of course, you know, we use 3.5 as the neck width. I'll fold the fabric again and make sure it's wide enough to go around the armhole. Then I'm going to measure the length of my sleeve, my long sleeve, plus about 1.5 folding allowance, or 1 inch at least. Then I'm going to mark the length this way and connect it. Now I'll come down here by 4 inches and give it that sweet sleeve shape. Yeah, just something like this. Then now I'll come to the wrist and take the wrist measurement, like the hem of the sleeve, and take the wrist measurements with no added allowance. Then I'll measure from the top to the elbow line and take my elbow measurement there with no added allowance. Then I'm going to connect it the same way you can see me do it here. It's very simple. The sleeve is just straightforward, but make sure you have something that will go around your armhole with no pleats. And then after that, I'm going to cut this out. And after cutting this out, I'm going to use this to trace out the second sleeve. I'll fold the fabric and then place it and trace it out. Make sure you notch the midpoint of the sleeve when you're done. Okay? So once you're done with all of this, there's no lining for this dress, so you're going to join the shoulder, use your bias to turn the neckline, fix the sleeve. That's pretty much about it. Yeah, you're going to do all of this that you see. I'm gonna ahead to join the shoulder, use a bias to turn the neckline, and then fix the sleeve. So the next thing we'll be working on now is the cape. So you're going to measure on this part of your neckline. You see where I'm measuring, yeah? That's where you're going to also measure. So you're going to measure from the center back to this neck depth here. Then you transfer what you measured there to this part, and then you're going to measure it around your arm on the sleeve part this way. And then you come back to the center back. Whatever you measured out, you're going to cut it out on this one. I think I have about 41 inches. So I'm going to cut it out here. And after cutting it out, I went ahead to fold it on both ends, like this end and the other part. And measuring it now, I have 18 and a half. Not sure, 18 and a half or 19. But you should have nothing less than 30 inches. It will be easier for you to have 30 inches because I honestly thought I had 30 inches or at least 25 inches. But it's okay. Then you remember I said I measured about 41 inches around the neckline. I have about 45 inches here, which is like adding extra 4 inches. So whatever you measure around the neckline, you're going to add between 4 to 6 inches because of the down part, like because of for you to raise your arm freely so that it will not restrict your arm. Regardless of how stretchy your fabric is, you're going to add at least 4 to 6 inches to whatever you measure around the neckline. If you measured it the same way you saw me measured mine, okay? Now I'm going to get the midpoint of this. You see what I'm doing here, okay? Once you get the midpoint, you're going to fold it this way, and then you also get the midpoint of the neckline of the front, yeah? And then you're going to place it this way and pin it down just to hold the fabric in place so that you arrange it on both sides without it moving. Then you're going to come to this neck depth, yeah? And then you're also going to gather the fabric, and then you're going to get something like this. So I cut out a fabric of about 3 inches, then I folded it into two and sew it, and then you see that I'm making sure that the joining is not visible. It's not on the sides, it's just on one center, okay? So you're going to do it that way, and then you gather the fabric and use that to wrap it around this way. When I get to my sewing machine, I'll be stitching it here, yeah, but for now I'll be holding it down with my pin. So you're going to hold it this way, and then once you're done stitching, you cut off the excess. Then this one will be coming this way. You're going to place it anyhow you want here, but you see that I'm trying so it doesn't get to my waistline. Then I'll pin it down too, okay? So that's basically it. You can decide to also stitch it down here to your dress if you want, or you just stitch the band alone and not attach it to your dress. Do you get that? And then you stitch it on the side just to hold it in place before you close. You do your final measurement. Okay. Now I will arrange this one this way. This one is the one that will be going with your neckline. So you're going to arrange it following your neckline, and then now on the center back you see the excess I added. Okay, you're going to pin it this way. By the end of this video, I will show you what else to do to this center back, okay, to this cape, yeah. Then you're going to arrange it this way, and now you see that the excess we added will now align with the center back. You're going to gather it in a way that it will align with the center back. The excess will be only on the top. Then you're going to blend it in while you gather to the down. Do you get that? And now you're going to arrange this one here. It's not even necessary. You're simply going to come down to where you want to start pleating, yeah, and then you're going to just gather it. Make sure they are aligning on both sides, both on the top and where the pleat stops. Do you get that? So I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to close the side with half inch from the sleeve all the way to the hem the down part, and afterwards this is what I have. So after fitting the dress, I noticed that it was not supposed to be like this. So you're going to start from your neckline and go down to at least 4 inches. From 4 to 6 inches, then you start the pleat. That's the only issue I had with this, because the cape, just to call it cape, it keeps coming up to the shoulder. It keeps going to the neckline, covering the neckline, which is not supposed to be. So you're going to measure from your neck depth on the back and go down to at least 4 inches. Then you start pleating there to where the pleat stops. And remember I said you should have at least 30 inches to pleat so that it will not be as small as you see mine. But yeah, aside that, every other thing came out so well. And with this, we've come to the end of our tutorial today. Do let me know your thoughts in the comment section and I'll see you on my next one. Be good. Bye.